What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, or at least I should say tonight's video, depending on when you're watching it, we are going to be discussing Le'Veon Bell, as he was recently released from the New York Jets. Bell back to Michigan. Should the Lions sign him? Let's get it started.
You know, I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, you know, guys don't know DoseOfDion. He put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
Welcome in, everybody, to another video. Glad you guys are here. And yes, we are going to be discussing some basically breaking news around the NFL, and it could pertain to the Detroit Lions. But in today's video, we're going to discuss whether or not the Lions should sign this running back. Now, we'll get into my answer at the end of the video, but I do want to talk about him a little bit, talk about the situation that he was in, what he still does well, and maybe what he may not bring so well to the Detroit Lions. So that's what we're going to discuss first, and then at the end, I will give you guys my answer. So let me know in the comment section below. Would you sign Le'Veon Bell? Let's get into it. Le'Veon Bell is a 6'1", 225-pound running back, but I think most of us know who this is, okay? From his time back in Pittsburgh, most of us understand who Le'Veon Bell is as a running back. We know the talent he was in Pittsburgh, and that led him to getting a monster deal by the New York Jets. Such a big deal that it really hasn't worked out, okay? When you give someone that big of a deal, especially a running back, it can be very difficult to maintain. He was signed to a 4-year, $52 million deal, which unfortunately for the Jets, it just hasn't worked out. And now a disgruntled Le'Veon Bell, once out of New York, now has been released. Yes, not even traded, released. They were not able to find any trade partners because they were trying to trade him, but they ultimately just decided to release him. Basically talking to some other NFL guys, and they told me that, you know, that team would kind of have to pick up some of that remaining money, but also, according to CBS, since he was released, the Jets apparently will take on that money. So I'm not completely sure. If you guys know, let me know in the comment section below. According to CBS, the Jets will eat the remaining money on his contract. So whichever team Bell signs with could do so for the minimum if he agrees. Okay, so that's what I know. That's all I know to this point, obviously. So that could open up some more potential suitors than necessarily having to take on that contract that maybe you would have had to do if you were trading for him. So he has been released. Now, Le'Veon Bell hasn't had the best time with the New York Jets. I mean, it just hasn't been great. He just returned off of IR, and in his last game, he only had 13 carries, and he apparently is not very happy with his role. I mean, he was paid that large of amount of money, and his role doesn't seem to be that big with the New York Jets, and also they're not doing so well as a team, so that doesn't help. When you're not winning as a team, players are usually going to become unhappy, and if they're not getting touches on top of that for the money that they've been paid, and for they feel like how many touches they should be getting, there's going to be a lot of problems there, okay? We've seen it before. This isn't brand new. We've seen it before with players, and now it's just Le'Veon Bell is going through this. He's a 28-year-old running back, and apparently Adam Gase, who is their head coach, which I don't know how much longer that'll last, apparently he didn't even want to sign Le'Veon Bell to this big contract, but they did it anyways. Liked him as a player. He just didn't want to give him this big of a deal. Well, as we know now, didn't work out so well. And with the New York Jets, his time hasn't been great. In 2019, he only averaged 3.2 yards per carry. Now, this season, he's averaging 3.9 yards per carry, but he's only been given 19 carries because of IR. However, it's not like any other Jets running back is doing their thing. I mean, Frank Gore is averaging 3.2 yards per carry. La'Mical Perine. I cannot say this dude's name right. I've tried. I just can't do it. He's averaging 3.7 yards per carry. He's only had 15 carries. It just hasn't went really well behind that Jets offensive line, and they don't have a great threat of passing the football either. Really, that whole team's just kind of a mess, okay? So it's not like anybody's running very well behind that offensive line. So we know what he did back in Pittsburgh, all right? Now let's touch on some of the things that he brings, some of the positives of signing this guy, some of the pros, and also some of the cons of signing Le'Veon Bell. The pros, we'll start off with those first. He's a very dynamic running back. We know that, you know, he's still, he may not be the same running back he was back in Pittsburgh, but we know he's still potential, and he has the capability of being one of the most dynamic and explosive running backs in the NFL. Why? Because not only can he run the football at a high level, which we saw at Pittsburgh, 4.7, 4.9, 4.9, 4, but he also can catch the ball in the backfield really, really well. He had 3 seasons with at least 75 receptions and 2 seasons over 80 receptions in the NFL. The guy's super dynamic, and he could be a big part of your offense. That's great. Number 2, he went to college in Michigan State. So there you go, back to Michigan, right? That's why the board says that. And number 3, I think he would be behind a better offensive line with the Detroit Lions. A better offense with the Detroit Lions. The question is, will we be more successful, hopefully, than the New York Jets? That would be great to be more successful than them. Now, I feel like there's a lot of cons that come with signing Le'Veon Bell, in my opinion. He's super talented. He could bring something great to this offense, but I feel like there's just too many cons. I feel like the cons outweigh the pros here. The first con, we're already a deep running back room. And if he was disgruntled because he didn't feel like he was getting a big enough role, well, try joining Adrian Peterson, DeAndre Swift, Kerryon Johnson. I mean, Bo Scarborough may not be activated off the IR. Ty Johnson was released. Jason Huntley was released. So we're looking at a guy here that would probably get a role if you sign him because you're signing him, but it's not going to be some huge, you're the future running back role. This is not what it's going to be. There's too many other running backs here. The Lions don't do that, okay? We don't even know week by week who's getting the carries, let alone bring in Le'Veon Bell, and we think he's going to be the go-to guy. Probably not. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have anything left in the tank, and I'm not saying he can't do that. I'm just saying with the Lions, they won't let him do that, most likely. With Darrell Bevell, that's probably not going to happen. We know he wants to run by committee. He's 28 years old. Not the oldest, but not the youngest either, okay? The production hasn't been there recently. Okay, that could be some with the Jets offense, of course, because no one's really ran well back there. But also, maybe there is something. Maybe he's just not the same player he used to be. But potentially, if the money's open, I don't think it necessarily is. And this, he was unhappy with his role. So coming to Detroit, I don't think he's going to be super happy with his role anyways. Look, I just don't think this is a good fit for the Detroit Lions. I don't think it makes sense to go sign Le'Veon Bell. I think, if you asked me this 3 years ago, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I will literally sign him for you, Detroit Lions. But looking at it now, it doesn't seem like the right fit for the Lions. It just doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like the move. I know how special he can be. I know how dynamic he can be. And I feel like if you get him in the right situation, he may actually end up being a very good running back still. I just think for the Lions' current situation, it doesn't make any sense. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to pass on whether or not the Lions should sign Le'Veon Bell. Like, I'm just going to have to pass. But if you guys think the Lions should do it, let me know in the comment section below. Those are my thoughts. Where do you think he'll end up? Let me know that as well. Seattle? Right? Could Seattle potentially end up with him? Or the Chargers? Okay, I'm reading off. I'm clearly reading off. The Seahawks, the Chiefs, the Cardinals. Okay, I'm clearly reading. I'm sorry. I'm cheating. Thank you, Brad, for watching. Thank you, Brad, for watching, and I'm out. Are you kidding me right now? I had to put my helmet on for this one. Are you kidding? Look at this. Look at all these members. What? Yo, hey, shout out to all the members, man. Look how many All-Pro members there are. Like, literally, it's the whole screen, dog. This is crazy. The patrons, of course, the Hall of Fame members, man. Y'all got the gold color. It's kind of yellow, but it's supposed to be gold. Shout out to all the members, man. If you want to be a part of this, all you got to do is join the channel. But there are perks that come with it. Stay locked in the community tab if you are a member, because that's where a lot of information comes out. I appreciate all of you. What?